Hey guys, welcome to another video from the Parrot Bros. Now you guessed it by the thumbnail and what I'm standing next to. I bought myself a two-smoker, a go-kart, two-stroke. Loads of reasons why, some funny, some practical and some just because I was on the computer late at night. But before we get stuck into it, let's jump into the intro. Here is my two-stroke go-kart. Now this was purchased late at night. You'll know how it goes. I may or may not have been told to buy any more TTs, and then I may have been on the internet thinking, well, what can I buy for around £1,000? Right, so reason for buying this is a few of me and a few of friends obviously do track days. You've seen on the videos before. There's a few of us that go. Now, track days have become stupidly expensive. Now, whilst they are great fun and it is nice to take your car around and thrash it around a track, do things that you wouldn't be able to do on the road without getting put in prison, it does come at a cost. And now petrol is astronomically priced in England. It makes it that little bit harder. Now, I'll just lay it out for you. So we'll go into this lovely go-kart in a minute. But basically, to do a track day, say you pick one of the top 5 tracks in the UK, if it's in a reasonable month, so from let's say May to September, you're probably looking at around £300 just for the track day itself. Now, factor into the equation that you might be using 2 tanks of fuel. That includes driving there and driving home, as well as beating it around there the whole time. You're probably looking at about 2 tanks. Now, an average fill-up now is sort of £80–90. You're looking at £160, £180 for fuel. So that's near £500 already. That's not including the fact that you're doing it midweek, so you're taking a day off of work. Also factor in that obviously brake pads will only last 2 or 3 track days, tyres may only last 2 or 3 track days, and that's if you don't break anything, if you know what I mean. So you're looking at £500–600 an outing. Now, whilst it is great fun, that's a lot of money. Which then led me to other things. Now, one of my friends already, well, I say one, a few of my friends already had go-karts, and I made the assumption, because I didn't check, and I had a quick look on eBay a while back, is that they were very expensive. Now, whilst some are expensive because they're new, and predominantly that's what's on eBay is the newer karts, because obviously people use them for 1 year racing, and then stick them up for sale for a few grand. So you're looking at sort of 3 to 5 grand for a newish one. And that is a 2-stroke 125cc engine. This is a Rotax Max on a Tony kart. Now there is various chassis. I'm still learning, so do bear with me. But that's kind of the package. And I thought, right, they're too expensive. I'm not spending 3 or 4 grand on something that I'm just going to put into a tyre wall. So I kind of drew a line under it. So I'm out for dinner, minding my own business, eating my dinner. I said to my pal Sam, I said, I looked at go-karts, but they're too expensive. And he goes, oh, what do you mean? They're not that expensive. I said, well, they're like 3 or 4 grand. He said, no, they're maybe £1,000, £1,200 for an old one. I was like, I'm listening. Because obviously most people have that £1,000 that you don't really mind just, you know what I mean, something fun. Either a little cheap smoke about or a bit of fun. So I said to him, you find me a go-kart for that, I'll buy it. First thing he does, pulls out his phone, rings his mate. You still got that go-kart for sale yet? And here it is. Now this is, I've literally just pushed the tyres on so they may fall off if I spin it round to show you. But this is the one I bought. Now this is a 2010-ish Tony kart. Tony kart is the brand if you don't know. And it has, obviously, the fairings. There is a rear bumper, which is down there on the floor. Now, the reason for justifying this, obviously, I'm not allowed to buy any more TTs that she knows about. So this is, so keep an eye out on that one. Not going to say any more. But this is cheap fun in my eyes, and I'll explain why, and I'll show you around while we go. Because if anyone else does go-karting or wants to get into go-karting, you know where I am. Come find me. My closest track is Rye House, but I'm happy to travel. This also fits in my car. I will show you a picture here where we collected it. In the car, believe it or not, in the old Mighty Picasso, not a TT, of course. It's not going to go in a TT. You've got to be mad. You can't even get 4 people in a TT. So yeah, this is a 2-stroke 125cc, which I'll be honest with you, I know very little about 2-stroke. All I know is that you put a little bit of oil in the petrol and the engine doesn't hold any oil, just the gearbox. Now, that's about my knowledge of two-strokes there or thereabouts, because obviously I've had a couple of bikes, quads, and stuff in the past, but never really done any work on them. So this is a learning curve for me. The lucky thing is, the engine you can literally pick up and walk off with because it weighs about 10-15 kilos, so which is nice. I'll bring it a bit closer while we're talking about it. So this is the Kart. Now the engine's here. Now when I bought this, the guy had it stored in his shed. He didn't have any of the plastics on. I mean, these predominantly do just pull off until bolted in, which does make it easier for transportation and whatnot. And you can take the wheels off and bits and bobs to make it smaller. So when I went to buy it, it was literally just the frame with the seat, the steering wheel and the fuel tank on. The engine was separate. All the plastics were separate. The wheels were off. It was in pieces. Nothing was connected. And I was like, okay, let's jump onto eBay and watch a few videos about how these are put together. But to be honest, it's not actually that bad. There's very few things to it. And I mean, a lot of it's common sense. If you've worked on cars and bikes and stuff before, it's not so bad. I say so bad because it's not. If you're not the one that took it apart, it's always a little bit of a challenge. But the engine is literally held on with 2 bolts. You then have to get the chain on, and then there's a few other bits to put on. But there's literally like 3 plugs. There's not a lot to it. Believe it or not, this has electric start. That was the other thing that worried me, because obviously, if anyone's ever had a 2-stroke that's a kickstart or a pull start, it is a slag to get running. Now this. Should we quickly fire it up? Let's quickly fire it up. It'll probably be too noisy. I might have to quieten it down for the video, but I will just show you how easy it is to start. Hopefully it won't show me up. I'm just going to have my back to you because this is where the battery is. So I'm just going to hold the positive onto the terminal because I've disconnected it for storage purposes, and then literally just ignition button on, and away she should go. And there you have it. That is how easy it is to start a 2-stroke go-kart. So that was definitely in my top 3 things about having this, that it has an electric start. I mean, how simple is that? Literally just pop. I have run it recently, so otherwise you'd need to blow the fuel through. But besides that, very straightforward. Now, let's get down to the practical reasons of having a go-kart. So, tyres. I shall show you because I bought some. So these are race slicks, which are used by most people who do racing in proper groups, proper racing groups. These are Mojo D5s. They're super sticky slicks. They are used by all the racers in all the groups, well, most of the racers in most of the adult groups. And they are super sticky. I mean, a couple of laps and they are literally glued to the ground. You can buy a set of 4 for £40. So now they are part worn, but they are the best of the best. Now these, actually, I can show you because these I've used once. They should have 2 holes in, one here and one here. Now that one's gone, which means these are pretty much useless. But I've done 2 outings on a set of tyres. So, I mean, if you work that out as a set of part warns are going to last you 2 outings. They're £40, that's £20 a time. Cheap, yeah? Car tyres are 500-600 quid. Yeah, you might be able to do 3 or 4 track days, but they're also 600 quid. So, £20 on tyres. Fuel, this thing uses approximately, depending on how much you're out, so I'll give it as an approximation, I used about 10 litres, just under. I mean, there's still probably 1.5 litres in there, in a day. So 10 to 15 litres is going to cost you somewhere in the region of 18 to 27 pounds. Yeah? So we'll call it 20 if you did 10-ish litres. So that's another 40, so that's £40. That's £20 for tyres, £20 for fuel. So that's £40. Now, the fun part is a whole day of karting. Now, this differs place to place, but Rye House is one of the biggest local places to me. They do racing there, so it's a proper track. Real nice, because it's just had smooth tarmac laid, so it's quite nice. And that is £56 a day. So it's not even 60 quid. And that is from 10 till 4, so that's 6 hours of karting. Depending on how busy it is, they might run sections, which is like they'll do it into groups, which is like kids, juniors and adults, 10 minutes at a time. But believe me, my hands, my wrists and my shoulders after 10 minutes, when you see him wave that flag, you're like, yes, time to go in. And you do 2 sessions an hour. So you do 20 minutes an hour. So you're getting a lot of seat time. So, I mean, you're looking at less than £100 for a day versus the sort of £500 for the car track day. So it is quite a bit more affordable. So that's kind of half the reason. Now, the other half of the reason is bits for this are stupidly cheap. Now, wheels are about £100 for 4, depending on if you buy them, where you get them from and all that kind of stuff, because they're magnesium, super lightweight. Things like cables, throttle cables, brakes. I mean, brake pads were 36 quid for the original Tony Kart ones. What else have we got consumables wise? A chain was £20. Sprocket is like £8, £9. It uses barely a litre of coolant. The 2-stroke oil that you mix with the fuel is like £15 for one of the most expensive ones you can buy, which will last you 50 to 1, so it's 100 mil per 5 litres. So you know what I mean, you're going to do 50 litres of fuel with that, so 5 outings maybe. It just works out that much cheaper, and the fact that you can obviously store this. I mean, if you drain the fuel out, you could literally stand this and put it at the back of your garage, shed, spare bedroom, dining room, depending on what you get away with. But bits for these are cheap. Now, the other sort of thing about this is as good as it gets. There's no suspension you don't have to buy. Shock absorbers. The shock absorbers aren't going to fail. It's got rose joints. The rose joints are like 4 quid each. It's got caster adjustment. It has height adjustment on the wheels. It has everything you would need. It's on slicks already. You're literally this high off the floor. The seat fits 5 mil underneath the chassis. So if you go over the curbs, it will hit your ass. Believe me. Take my word for that one. I'm actually going to have to do a fiberglass repair on the seat. And it's not because of my weight. Maybe a little bit. No, it's because the seat's mounted slightly too low. But everything about this is cheap. You can't get better handling than a go-kart. I mean, cars, you're constantly dialing in. Every time you go to a track day, you're like, right, I need to buy these. I need to change these. This is on the floor. You can just literally bang some fuel in, whoop, off you go. Have an absolute laugh. I mean, this thing is crazy wide. See if I can show you. The back of this is like nearly 1.4 meters in width. It is ridiculous. I mean, this thing will get to, and I'm ballparking here because obviously I'm not a go-kart expert. This will go to approximately sort of 60-ish miles an hour, and it'll only take you a matter of seconds to get there. I don't know the specifics, but as soon as it comes onto power band, you know about it. If the tyres are cold, you'll be going 90 degrees straight away. I have done that many times, so do bear that in mind. But it is a wicked day out. I went to Rye House the other day when it was a shorter day, and it was only 40 quid for the day. I had an absolute world of a time. I want to say a massive thank you to Mike Spencer Racing. He's a friend of mine. He's also building a kit, which we shall see in the future. And he has given me loads of help with, maybe I've been sending him pictures saying, what's this? How do I do that? And where to buy stuff and all that kind of stuff. So a massive help. And obviously if you want some driver tuition as well, he has trained some of the best. So yeah, Mike Spencer Racing. I'll put his details down in the description. Big thank you to him. But if you are interested in karting, want to know a bit more, obviously I can tell you what I know, which isn't a lot. But this is definitely where I will be spending my summer. I think the track days in the car, for the time being, are crossed off. I might do the odd one, but I can do 5 or 6 outings in this for the price of an outing in the car. And to be honest, it's all about seat time. This thing is nothing but fun. Yeah, your ribs might hurt afterwards and your shoulders, and you might need a few days off until they're in the jacuzzi. But besides that, absolute different world of fun. But yeah, so I kind of wanted to share that with you guys because obviously I'm going to be a little bit quiet on track days wise. We're still going to do loads of work on the TTs. It's not like I don't have a few, and I may or may not be getting another one soon. We shall see how that one fares. But yeah, I wanted to kind of share my project with you guys. It has got plans to this wise. The only thing I need to do is fix the seat. and then just go out in it as much as possible. If any of you guys want to come, I want you to let me know when I'm going. The other thing I forgot to say about this is, if two of you wanted to buy a kart together, when you go to track days or kart days, race days, open practice days, whatever, you pay per kart, not per person. So if you went 2 or 3 of you in one kart, you'd only pay for that one kart. So it'd be like 56 quid and 3 of you could drive all day. So massive saving. On a car track day, I think it's 25 quid extra per person that drives the car. But obviously this is inclusive, so a massive win there. I'm up for going to other tracks, so if any of you have any other tracks, Wilton Mill, I think it is Northampton anyway. That's one I want to go to. But yeah, I've actually been out in this twice. I didn't film it because mainly I was blagging it, having fun, trying to suss everything out. But now I'm kind of there or thereabouts. So I wanted to share with you guys. Obviously, I've got it all complete and all set up now. And I will definitely film the next time I go out. I'm not by any means fast, but I have a lovely time. And that's what it's about, isn't it? But hey guys, I hope you've enjoyed me talking about my new project in the secret Parrot Bros cave here, one of a few. But yeah, until the next one guys, bye for now.